Greetings! I am Ernest, a fourth-year college student from De La Salle College of St. Benilde, currently pursuing the degree Bachelor of Arts in Arts Management. In this video, I will share with you my review on Tulak, a Filipino video game made by a group of students from the Game Design Department in Benilde. Disclaimer: this video serves as my final thesis output to analyze the said video game. My purpose in pursuing this kind of study is to make it serve as an example in providing feedback for other Filipino video games present and in the future take note to improve their game material as well as being uniquely Filipino. Also, be reminded that this is from my personal experience in playing the video game. What I am going to say will be solely my opinion and research from my thesis methodology to support my study. The story revolves around the main protagonist, Jed, a miner who resides in a fictional barangay struggling to survive with his sister, Sarah. Jed is known to be a drug pusher under the ward of Ninong, who oversees Jed's performance in distributing narcotics to various traffickers. When the new presidential administration came with its campaign to root out drug dealers, Jed feared for his life and his sisters that he wanted to leave that life behind to save themselves. What you can expect here is that your decision making will have an impact on Jed's life, for the better or worse. Will you escape from the life of crime and find solace? Or continue suffering until you end up behind bars or dead at the spot? The choice is yours. From my methodology, I made an online survey open to provide the developers various opinions from those who may have heard and or played the game. I also interviewed one of the developers to give his insights on what kind of game he and his group made and his point of view in Filipino video games overall. From my survey, first, around 56.3% have heard of Tulak, while 43.8% were in the answer no. Second, about 75% played the video game, as the remaining 25% have yet to play it. Third, the most point of what respondents like about Tulak is the idea of being inspired by current issues happening within the Philippines. One specific is the current administration's war on drugs campaign. What they disliked from the video game was being slow-paced or too slow to progress through the game. Fourth was providing feedback for the developers to improve further their video game, and some were as follows: easier navigation to the game, voice dialogues produced by Filipinos, more stories to Filipinos who have similar dilemma, consistencies in the usage of both Tagalog and English language, and headlines like newspapers that tell about more info about the war on drugs, how it started, and what the term dokhang is. From my interview, the interviewee had stated that he and his group wanted to create a video game that deviates from norms of video games being all friendly and artistic to something feisty and realistic. For him, the usage of language, particularly Filipino Tagalog, is what makes Filipino video games unique. He believed that marketing, experimental work, and quality standards are what Filipino video games lack overall. In marketing, most are made by indies and don't receive support from larger companies. And even if they were assisted, their content would be used for monetary purposes that diminish their artistic side. In experimental work, most are imitative and copycat with others. In quality standards, he said that while some have interesting ideas, they lack polish in a sense that they are rough drafts. He suggested that for Filipino video games to get more attention, there should be more risk involved, like publishing them to social media like YouTube and Twitter. Also, seek advice from groups like IGDA or International Game Developers Association to get help in publicizing video games. It was through IGDA that Tulak received attention to be noticed. When it comes to earning profit, he said it varies on which company and position one prefers. For him in indie, he estimated around 2K to 5K when it comes to the asset, sometimes 18K per project. When working with a team, around 40K, which for him is the standard for beginner to average level game artists. In conclusion, Tulak is a good game where its uniqueness comes through sending a powerful message to the player, a message where it foretells one of the myriad situations that is happening within the Philippines. There are more things for the game to improve on, Aside from having an easier navigation or even a second language like English to be used, maybe add some posters, newspapers, or even televisions where they describe the status of the drug war, like how many have been killed or incarcerated. I also like the idea of adding voice dialogues in the game where those who voice out specific characters would further improve the atmosphere filled with emotions like sadness, fear, and anger. According to my interviewee, if you want a more freedom in creativity and less process in finalizing content, go for indie. If you aim to secure more pay, then a larger company would be your best bet. Now, how do I relate this thesis to my course Arts Management? My main answer is marketing. First, I interviewed one of the game developers to explain my reason in choosing their group's video game Tulak as my primary study to not only promote it, but also serve as assistants to other Filipino video games in providing some suggestions/recommendations. Second, I made an online survey about the game to get feedback from respondents so I can share them with the game developers. Finally, I made this video as a review to showcase my support to them, bringing awareness of its existence. Think of it as promoting a professional or a well-known institution. You get to know what they are all about at first, and then if they give you permission to promote them, you find ways to increase their popularity to the public. Example like posting through social media like Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and or even setting up workshops, productions, and exhibitions. This concludes my review of Tulak. Thank you for watching, and if you have criticism to share, do post them in the comments section. If you want to support the game developers of Tulak, I put a link at the description below this video where you can download the game to try it out yourself and donate if you wish to fund their budget. Once again, this is Ernest signing off.